Ah, chess, the oldest competitive game in existence.
Oh, come on, mouse, and I'll break your fucking legs.
But why is chess? What even is chess, and how the fuck does the horsey move? All this and more in the chess field. Yeah, there's gonna be at least one person that's gonna be mad that I stole that intro. But before we move into the world of chess, let us first explore its history. Chess first originated in India, possibly when a prince was using another game to explain how his brother died in battle. Rook f8, b4 forced, and then rook d4 mate. This would make a fire board game. Early chess did stuff for a while before finding its way to Europe around the turn of the century. No, not that one. Where it would form into the game it is today. Chess soon evolved into a game that became very popular with the nobility. You know, the only people in medieval Europe that were not busy trying not to die. The game was quickly incorporated into the household of many royal families. It was prestigious to be good at the game, for it was viewed as a game of intellect and strategy. Though, like every game, there were those who viewed it as the root of all evil. Some big church boys like Peter Damien would claim that chess was, and I'm not joking, causing the erosion of society because it was competitive and made some people mad butthurt. Though, despite its controversial nature, the European version of chess would eventually find itself adopted worldwide. Viewed as a stage for dramatic risks and legendary comebacks, launching the game into international knowledge. Chess legends would rise and fall, like Garry Kasparov, the Boeing 737 that whooped my ass 2 years ago, and Grimace. But what even is chess? You think that I would start with that, but I'm writing the script at 3 in the morning, so please cut me some slack. Chess is played on an 8x8 board with 64 squares that looks like the cover of an Albert Camus novel. There are two sides, white and black, and since modern chess was invented by Europeans, white always goes first. Due to this, white always has a small advantage at the start of the game, and this is known as white privilege. In chess, there are 6 different pieces that all serve different roles and purposes. The pawn, your average prepubescent 5th grader. They are largely ineffective, but you have a lot of them, making them good cannon fodder. However, think of these pawns as younglings. If they do in fact survive Uncle Anakin's wild ride, they can turn into the main character. Also, do I really need to say this? Google and passant.
Big and it keeps getting bigger. That's 'cause Jesus Christ is my name.
The bishops control each of their respective diagonals, which means that if used correctly, they can become a very powerful tool.
Have mercy.
God has mercy. I don't.
Your gallant knight, he rides his horse with such skill and efficiency that he can even jump over other pieces to perform flanking maneuvers. Unfortunately, he has a self-esteem issue, meaning that he can only move in an L shape.
Your mother was a hamster, and your father smelt of elderberry.
The piece whose namesake makes absolutely no sense. Oh yeah, castles, because we all know their famous ability to fly across the earth in a straight line at Mach speeds. In all seriousness though, these pieces can either move up or down, which makes them really good at controlling files in the middle and in-game.
Because democracy basically means government by the people, of the people, for the people. But the people are retarded.
The king, the most important piece on the board, which you need to protect at all costs. That's the goal of the game, by the way, to checkmate the opposition's king and protect your own. Did I really forget to mention that? Damn. Now, unfortunately for you, the king is a bit of a beta male cuck, only being able to move 1 square in any direction. Unlike us Sigma males, right guys? On a completely unrelated note, I am incredibly down bad.
Come on, Lizzie, you can do it. Pave the way, put your back into it.
Speaking of which, the queen, let's just say she's a Barbie girl, and this is a Barbie world. She will fuck your shit up. She is a rook and a bishop combined, making her highness the most powerful piece on the board. Speaking of which, piece values. For new players, it is good to know piece values, which is especially useful for knowing what trades are good or bad. Anything else? Oh yeah. Look out for the thing that made Juno mad.
Juno was mad, he knew he'd been had, so he shot at the sun with a gun.
Chess theory has been discussed and philosophized ever since the game has existed, and today it is more prevalent than ever. When you first start learning chess, the first thing you will likely learn is the Italian opening. It is very common, which means that it's very important to understand all of the opening lines and strategies that the Italian brings with it. That being said, the Italian is some bull. I hate this opening so much. It leads to a boring positional game where you just react to moves. There is no uniqueness, no creativity, and no happiness. This is why for white I recommend something a bit more unorthodox. I love the King's Gambit. It has carried me to my current rating, and every game I play with it is just a bit different. Though it is not exactly viable at the top levels due to one or two specific lines that lead to black having a better position, only like 3 people under the rating of 1500 actually know those lines, and most lower rated players will typically play into your position. So 10 out of 10 would recommend that you at least try it. Though if it's not for you, which is honestly quite understandable, then let me give you another tip for studying openings. Most opening videos will show you the different lines and strategies, and while these are nice to know, if you're under the rating of 1500, which, let's be real, you probably are, then spend more time studying the goal and benefits of each opening and not the quadrillion different lines. Because you can know all the funny lines of the Grob opening, but if you don't understand the short and long-term goals of it, then you will rarely be able to transition into a winning middle and end game consistently. Speaking of which, the middle game. This is the phase of the game where both sides will start making big plays to try and either win the game or get an endgame advantage. The most important thing I can tell you is this: always play with a plan. Don't just Leroy Jenkins the rest of the game. Also, always assume that your opponent is working towards a plan. Whenever your opponent makes a move, try and figure out what they are trying to do. This will allow you to both proactively counter and defend your position, and it trains your brain to look more than 2 or so moves into the future. Speaking of the future,
I am inevitable.
and in endgame, both sides will likely only have a few pieces, and they will both try and promote a pawn. The only real way to get better at endgames is to practice them.
And that is the end of the video. I promise you, this will be the last abrupt ending. I've decided to start uploading monthly, which will give this channel consistency as well as giving me the time I need to properly flesh out each topic I talk about. Oh yeah, you might be wondering why my voice sounds better, and that is because I got an actual microphone, so the audio shouldn't suck quite as much now. Thanks to the 1,000 of you who made the rather questionable decision to subscribe to me, and until next time.